Hello, this is Michael Emery with Emery EPS, Internet Marketing. We're doing website reviews for the keyword phrase Seattle Attorney. And what we're doing is we're identifying the reasons why certain websites are not showing up in the top 3 positions on the first page of Google for the keyword phrase Seattle Attorney. So we're on page 4 now, and if we look at, let's see here, position 31, 32, 33, 34, we're going to see jsrogerslaw.com. So let's take a look here at this website. JS Rogers, clean call to action here at the top. Looks good, a fair amount of text. Alright, so now let's take a look and see what the computer is seeing, what the robots are seeing. Might tell a different story here. So here we have the title. James S. Rogers Law Offices of James S. Rogers, Seattle, Washington. Okay, it's good. We've got the brand in there, but what we're not seeing is we're not seeing the keyword phrases. So my recommendation would be to change this around a little bit. I would leave out Washington. Seattle's the only major city, so with the name Seattle, so you don't need to have that state specified. And what we could do here is we could put in Seattle Attorney or Seattle Lawyer or both of those. Here's some issues right here that's happening with the meta description. The meta description is what shows up here. You can see this right here. And it's nondescript in the sense that it doesn't use the keyword phrases that we're targeting or that would be relevant to target. So we take pride in fighting for individuals. For us, it's personal. We're dedicated to finding justice for our clients. I would elaborate on this, and I would figure out a way to integrate Seattle Attorney, Seattle Lawyer, something that's relevant to law in terms of keyword phrases that we'd be targeting into this meta description. Then I would remove these meta keywords. We don't want those. They do more harm than good most of the time. Here's another issue. When we look at the headers, think of headers like it's similar to a academic document. So academic essay, paper. So you have your title, you got one title, you got your subtitle, and then you got your subtitles. And so the H1 is the title, H2 would be a subtitle, H3s would be the subtitles. Right here, in pursuit of justice, we're telling Google that this page is about in pursuit of justice. It's relevant to law, but we're not painting a big, broad picture that we can then chunk down. So a better keyword phrase would be something like Seattle Attorney, Seattle Lawyer, and then we could go into the H2 and we could just say something like that, the law offices of James S. Rogers are dedicated to justice, or the James S. Rogers is a legal attorney or a Seattle attorney dedicated to the pursuit of justice. You can kind of get where I'm going with this. We'd have to work on this and create headers that are relevant to the services being offered here or the focus of this law firm. But then we can see here we've got H3, auto product. It's not too relevant. Product liability, well, maybe it's a little bit relevant. Sex abuse, government liability. I would definitely go through these and make some changes. Google only takes into its considerations H1, H2, and H3. So these H4s, they don't really show up. They don't stand out above the rest of the text. So let's see what else is happening here. We need to add microformats, some schema, and robots. So this is the first part of the on-site report card that plays into the Google ranking algorithm. Now we're going to take a look at the second part, which is the website performance and speed. So here we're running into some issues. We've got a D score for page speed and a C score for Y-slow. The website does still load relatively fast. It's under 3 seconds, which is good, and it's only 824 kilobytes, which is pretty good also. We've got a few issues here that have to do with optimization and caching. So this is stuff that our team could definitely fix to bump you up into the green zone, which is probably an 85% score or higher. The same thing here is going to be some expires headers, and that's probably it to make the YSLO score go up in the into the green zone. So let's take a look now at what Google itself says in terms of what needs to be done for this website. And this is actually really important. It's just as important, if not more important, than what GT Metrics is saying, because we're trying to rank the website in Google. And the Google algorithm and the Google bots are telling you, hey, there's a problem with your website. So it makes sense to fix it. What we have here is we've got some very common errors. We've got caching errors, optimization errors, like I said, and then we've got some render blocking error that is very common, and our team can definitely take care of that for you. So we're going to see the same issues on the desktop, but it has less of an impact because there's a wider allowance for website size and download speed, because people are connecting using usually a high-speed internet connection, whereas when somebody's on a mobile device, they might be only receiving a 3G network connection, which is definitely limiting their download capabilities. So the next thing that we're going to take a look at here is the second part of the report card, and that is the perceived authority and trust that Google is assigning to your website. So let's take a look at perfection. Let's look at probably the highest trust website out there in Google, which is Google itself. So they've got a trust flow of 98 out of 100. They've got a citation flow of 96 out of 100. They've got a spatter chart of all of their backlinks that looks like this. It's like this solid mass here, because they've got 8.1 trillion backlinks connecting to them. So here's another very important factor: the anchor text ratios. So anchor text is any sort of hyperlink, and the phrases could be used in this hyperlink. So for example, it could be it could say Google, or it could say www.google.com, or it could say http :// www.google.com. These are all different variations of anchor text. It could say this website, and still links to google.com. So 80% of the backlinks connecting to Google are random. They don't say anything. This is very interesting here. Less than 4%, 3.74% of the backlinks out of the 8.1 trillion backlinks connecting to Google, only 3.74% actually say Google, just Google. So let's take a look at this website. We're going to find out what's happening. Here's the answer why we're not on page 1 and not positioned for the top 3 search results. We have a trust flow of 0. Go back to Google, trust flow of 98. To compete and to be considered, all things considered, optimized on your website on page, we're going to have a trust flow of probably around high 20s to 30s in order to position you on page 1 and then become part of the competition for those top 3 positions where most of the traffic goes, being the first 3 websites shown in the search results. So we only have 29 backlinks from 9 different domains, so we're seeing about 3 backlinks per domain, and we've got a few little dots here. When we compare this to Google, look at that, that's 8.1 trillion. This is kind of how 29 looks. So, and this is just constructive criticism here, trying to identify the factors like why you're not getting the exposure that's potentially available to you. So we look at the backlinks here. We've got a backlink makeup of 27% have a URL, another variation of the URL, another variation of the URL, a generic visit website, go to website, another generic, and website. So this is a very good reason, 2 reasons here. First reason being the trust flow is 0. That's why we're ending up on page 4 instead of page 1. And none of the backlinks connecting to this website say anything about Seattle law, Seattle attorneys, attorney in Seattle, anything that's related to the specific areas of focus for this law firm. So in short, here's what we would look at doing. We would optimize the on-site situation. We would need to make sure that we're using appropriate headers, that we've got enough content on the pages that we're trying to position, and that the content and the headers and the title, the meta description, they are all keyword rich and specifically targeting the Seattle area for the services provided by this law firm. The second part, we would run through our SEO campaigns. We would look at enhancing the trust flow of the website, and then also creating a variety of backlinks that are relevant to the searches that actually drive traffic in this region, so that we can begin to position this website on page 1 for keyword phrases like Seattle Attorney, and then also move it up in the positioning from page 1 into the top 3 search results on that first page of Google. So I hope that this has been insightful. I would love to set up a time to have a consultation call and answer your questions. And I see that we've got a great possibility of being able to move your website up in the rankings. And this means that you're going to not only increase your visibility, but as a result, increase your revenues. Thank you very much for your time.